Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at my new Zacian here. 100% all of the team actually have perfect IVs already and a very special Pokemon. So yeah, my Zacian I'm going to play now as well. This video was actually meant to be out yesterday, but because I actually got a Volcanion with very interesting stats there, I was able to play that one first because it was just, yeah, like literally if you didn't see the video, the Volcanion is very unlikely to end up basically below the 1500 CP cap, and mine was one of them, so you have to have literally the worst IVs. By the way, look at Fire Blast on the Palkia. But yeah, it's kind of cool. Definitely check out the video yesterday, but also it's the first time now where I'm actually happy that my Palkia doesn't have the correct move. I got a Shundo Palkia from a raid from the last... Does it go fast? I don't know. Yeah, it was, I think, the Sinnoh or something there. And I got like a Shundo from a raid, which was my only Shundo that I ever got from a raid. And I was kind of sad that I didn't get the correct move. It was always kind of worse to not have Spatial Rend. And nowadays, with the new meta, it's actually kind of cool to have Fire Blast. I'm kind of happy about this. We're going to win the first battle here. We have a very simple team. Our team idea was basically let's play the 3 top Pokemon all together. This is the top meta team that you can run, kinda. I would actually change one thing on this team, and this is the moveset of my Zamazenta. And you might think, oh, you mostly want to have the Melaclaw instead of the Ice Fang on this Pokemon. But actually, no. I would rather have the charge move of a Giga Impact on this Pokemon, because what this would allow you to do is neutral damage against Ho-Oh, and I could see a scenario where if you're gonna get trapped with a Ho-Oh, which happens quite often, I would say, you would have the option then to, yeah, do quite some damage against that Pokemon, maybe even realign, because they will never really expect that. Anyway, we're going to see here the Rhyperior going for the Breaking Swipe. We're going to have the Palkia coming in. This is looking really nice for us, as we will see here the Aqua Tail coming through from the opponent. We can go for a close combat, doing a ton of damage here, as this is going to now, yeah, have stab damage on the opponent. We can farm it down, we can see that the opponent forfeits, and we can win the battle. So, we already saw one Fire Blast land against the Zacian, so let's see if we can do it again. I don't know if people are going to expect it more or not, but yeah, let's see. We're going to have another Fire Blast coming through. If they're going to let the move go through, the game is nearly over already, and they shield this time around. What I've seen so far is that I played this team throughout, I think, 3 different days, and I've seen more people shield later on. Like, I definitely saw that more people are starting shielding now against this move, just because people are now expecting it kind of a bit more. But yeah, honestly, I do think it's kind of cool that Palkia, without the signature move of yeah, the Spatial Rend, has so much more play now, which is kind of hilarious, because yeah, for literally since the release of this Pokemon, it has been way better to have Spatial Rend on it. I've lost countless of battles because I didn't have Spatial Rend on it, and now I'm gonna at least win some battles because I have Fire Blast instead, which again is not the best move, but it can one-shot both Zacian as well as Zamazenta. I had both of those matchups before already, where I was able to go up against them and just one-shot them with a Fire Blast. Here we're gonna see the Zacian from the opponent. We can just go for a double shield against them as well, and we're gonna be in a position here now where we're going to be able to just, yeah, go for our Behemoth Bash. Behemoth Bash is the same amount of energy than Close Combat. I still think it needs more energy because of Behemoth Blade needing more energy than 45. But yeah, those have 2 different energy stats. Here, Behemoth Blade coming through, gonna get shielded by the Kyurem, and we nearly would be, we should have went actually for the Close Combat then in hindsight, because I would have been able to get there in time. But as you see here, we still have the Behemoth Bash coming through soon, but I kind of, again, underestimated the opponent's Pokemon. Also, I got denied one fast move here, which can be a bit annoying. But yeah, Sho just went for the charge move earlier on, and I do think they had a chance here of winning this battle. I just didn't really play it all well there, and so yeah, good game to the opponent. We can move on to the next one, where we face Necrozma. You might think Fire Blast again would be a cool choice here. But interestingly enough, for this Pokemon, it's not ideal to go for Fire Blast, unless you're going to end up in a scenario where you're already up energy before going for it. But why? Because what we will see here is that, yeah, okay, the opponent just swaps out anyway, but what you would see, if the opponent would stay in there, is that 2 Aqua Tails are enough to knock them out, while, of course, a Fire Blast also is enough to knock them out, but 2 Aqua Tails needing less energy than 1 Fire Blast. And also, it is safer, because at the end of the day, you can get shields more easily with that. If your Fire Blast gets shielded, 80 energy goes to waste without any kind of benefit. But they have to they would need to shield one of the Awkward Tails, so you still get one at least through there. So again, here we see how much damage it's going to do. It's nearly going to knock them out, another one will knock them out, and that's exactly what I kind of mean here. You're going to be in a position where this is just going to be better for you. We are going to see here that this is going to allow you to get a ton of damage onto them. Gonna get the KO. And in comes the Kyurem. Kyurem, good matchup for us. We can go for another Awkward Tail here, try to get them low. They decide to forfeit already because I know they have no play here. And so, yeah, it is a lot of fun to play with it. Basically, 3 most broken Pokemon in the existence of the Master League. It is a very solid team. Something I, by the way, didn't know is that Reshiram wins the matchup against Palkia. I never expected that one, but as you see here, they're actually going to be able to farm us down. I didn't really expect this at all. I actually thought of using Reshiram though as well, which maybe is going to be something for a different video. Not right now, because Master League is going to be going away in one day. But there are a lot of actually Pokemon that I kind of want to take a look at. One of them would be this. Here, by the way, this is the one battle where I was actually thinking that I want to build my Volcanion for the Open Master League. The opponent actually has, I think, nearly the Hundo here. So that's most likely why they built this. I think it is maybe even the Hundo, Volcanion. But Volcanion is really good in the current meta, having great stats and also a great typing for the current meta. Being able to counter both Zacian as well as Zamazenta is kind of cool. So yeah, this battle here alone kind of wanted to make me build a Volcanion again. If you have Volcanion built for the Open Master League, would love to see some gameplay with this Pokemon as well. Would love to showcase it here on the channel. But yeah, my Volcanion luckily is below 1500 CP, which only like a handful of IV spreads are basically below that. And so yeah, I'm happy with having one for the Great League. I think this is the battle where I kind of was thinking about it before, where we can see immediately how much an Awkward Tail is going to do. We can use a shield here. They could have Outrage. I do think that the current best moveset is Dark Pulse and the signature move of Sunsteel Strike, because it's going to allow you to hit these Zacian at least still for some hard-hitting neutral damage. But as you see here, 2 Awkward Hits are enough to knock them out. 2 Awkward Hits are less energy than 1 Fire Blast, and so there is no point of me going for Fire Blast against this Pokemon. In comes here the Primarina. We swap out into our Zamazenta, well knowing that our Zacian is going to have the way better matchup there. But we're gonna get out the Rhyperior, which is honestly not a bad matchup. Rhyperior's charge moves are all kind of resisted here. On the Zamazenta, of course, they're going to have some super effective fast move pressure with the Mud Slap, but we're still going to be in a solid spot here, as Behemoth Bash is coming through. And what we can actually do here is we can go into our Zacian, because Zacian still resists everything. Here we don't get the free fast move in, which we should have got in, which is kind of annoying. But Breaking Swipe is triple resisted. It doesn't do any damage. This was a fully loaded Breaking Swipe. They go for one more again and they just don't do damage against us. But they got 2 attack drops onto us, which is kind of unfortunate. But what we will see here is what they can just catch the move. Hydrocan is going to get caught by the Palkia, and they know that this game is over here. So yeah, one thing that I would love to know from you in the comment section is, where did you use your bottle cap on? Or if you haven't used it yet, like, what are you going to use it on? You still have, I think, a week until you have to decide. I already put my bottle cap onto my Meloetta, shiny Meloetta that I got from the research also during the Go Fest. Yeah, which has, I think, 12, 15, 12 as my stats. So I have to get up 3 attack and 3 HP and 3 attack, I think, yeah. For this Pokemon. So yeah, this is going to be my choice. Will take quite a while, but it's at least like kind of working towards something. And then I have a Hundo mythical Pokemon. I already have a Hundo mythical Pokemon in Shaman that I got. So yeah, let me know down below, what did you use on? I think the most common answer is mostly going to be a shiny background Zacian, because it is the best Pokemon that you can invest in. It is the best for Dynamax, it's the best for PvP here, for Master League. It's going to be the best for raids. There is no real better choice than that, to be fair. But yeah, let me know down below, what did you use it on, basically. Here you're going to see the Kyurem Black going to go up against us. We're going to have the option of going for a very hard-hitting Behemoth Bash there to knock them out. In comes the Palkia, and I think we're alright. Unless they have Fire Blast, we should be okay here. And they have Fire Blast. That is my tech move, but also we see here that we should be able to win this. We have more HP than the opponent, but nope, we don't. Lagged, and we are sadly going to lose this one. But can we hit a Fire Blast again? That is my question. We're going to have Metal Claw version of the Zamazenta against us. I do think, though, that for PvP, a Metal Claw nerf is kind of something that we might see in the future. I do think that Zacian and Zamazenta are a little bit too overpowered, personally. Like, again, They can leave it here for like 1-2 seasons, I don't really mind that, but I do think that it just makes it very difficult with the current way, especially Zacian is on Pokemon to succeed in the future unless they're fire or ground type Pokemon. I think that's the only weaknesses of Zacian, isn't it? Like, I know that Fairy and Steel is the best type in the game, like type combination, both offensively and defensively, kinda, especially defensively though, with all the resistances that they have. But I think it's only weak to fire and ground, and that is the only weakness that you have on this Pokemon, and that is kind of ridiculous. Like, that is really ridiculous. It just, like, a typing that very well works together as well, Fairy and Steel, because with Steel typing, you also have the weakness to fighting, which Fairy resists, and for the Fairy typing, you have also the weakness of poison as well as steel, which both steel types resist. So like basically all of the weaknesses need to cancel each other out other than fire and ground type Pokemon. And so it's a very, very difficult to counter this Pokemon already, and it's still very, very strong with the charge moveset and fast moveset that it has. Anyway, we get Hardballed here, and here's for example one of the things where I would love to have Giga Impact. I do think that Giga Impact would be kind of cool. It is still though very, very risky. Giga Impact does a little bit more than 50% health onto the opponent's Ho-Oh, and you kind of need to get there first, and they will outspeed you to the Sacred Fire. A lot of times Ho-Oh kind of wants to farm you down though, and so that might be an option. Here, as we see, if we didn't get the attack drop onto us, we would have been actually able to even get the shield or the KO against them here, already with the moveset that we have. But as you see, the opponent is going to go for a hard-hitting move. I do basically put everything onto the Zacian, and as you see, we're going to have an energy lead on our own Zacian. We can go for the Behemoth Blade, and the opponent makes a very weird play here. They decide to let the move go. For whatever reason. I literally don't understand that reasoning behind it, because what we can do is we can shield. Now we have the Florges against our Zacian. Yes, we want to be a shield down, but they only have resisted damage coming through, so I don't really need to shield. They have Trailblaze maybe coming in here. We have super effective fast move pressure from the Pokemon with the highest attack stat, and the best stat just full stop with the best typing. Sorry, like that is super effective stab damage coming your way. And I am even going to be able to go for some Behemoth Blades still afterwards to, do some, get the shields here from the opponent. I could even get another shield, but what we rather gonna do here is just gonna get them low, because they're even gonna be in Dragon Breath range now. After all my fast moves, but I can just knock them out with a Zacian. Zacian is just busted, sorry. Took out two Pokemon on its own there. Of course, one was with a good advantage there, but the other one was just another Zacian, and we were able to completely destroy the opponent. In comes here the Palkia. We're gonna try to get a ton of energy against them again. I actually have to cover up here now for other people running Fire Blast. That's why I use a shield against them. If they go for the Awkward Tail, they're very likely just have Awkward Tail, but they try to bait me here with a Fire Blast, which I respect, and they're still gonna get to another Awkward Tail in time. I can take the hit, and I'm gonna end up with a ton of energy. But as we will see here, we are going to be able to go for the close combat against the Ho-Oh, but the Ho-Oh is locking themselves in here. I just make a bit of a mistake here by having really bad fast move timing. I give the opponent a pretty fast move here. It's always a little bit difficult to time like moves, especially like 1-turn fast moves there, especially if they like swap out. It's a bit awkward with the animation there. But as long as you don't have another answer to Zamazenta in the back, we should be kind of alright here. And they have the Cure on black, which generally speaking is alright for us. We have the Behemoth Bash here, which we again get at the same time as the close combat, so there's no point of going for the close combat there. But let's see on how things gonna go. We're going to be able to use a shield here. It's going to be the Fusion Bolt, and we can try to go for another Behemoth Bash against the opponent, as we will be able to let the move go here. It's going to be the Fusion Bolt again, and we have a close combat still stored. We just have to be able to get to the close combat here in time. And can we get there? We can. The opponent did not expect us to swap out that fast, and that is perfect, as now we're going to be able to guarantee win the battle here and move on to the next opponent. Next opponent coming through, we're going to have the Urshifu. Urshifu in the water version is definitely better. I thought I swapped into my Zacian, but I apparently swapped into my Zamazenta instead, which is kind of awkward. Zacian, absolutely the way better choice here. Not being weak to either of the charge move types, completely hard-working the charge moves of this Pokemon, plus doing super effective fast move pressure. I definitely went just into the wrong Pokemon, but I actually thought I clicked on the Zacian first. Don't know. Mistakes been made there. I can still use that as an energy source, but this could completely lose us the battle here. So yeah, that is kind of annoying, because I would have just been able to fully farm them down, and the opponent would have had nothing they can do there. We would have had like 2 close combats against the opponent here as well. Annoying. We're gonna be able to get some damage onto them. I can stop out of here. They stop out into their own Zacian, and you know what we can do? We can go for a Fire Blast. Do they call this here? Do they call the Fire Blast? Please don't. they do. And that is going to be a bit annoying because now what we have to do is we have to, of course, go for shields here. But I actually don't know how to knock them out now. I actually have no idea on how I want to knock them out. They have a ton of energy now. I don't think I can go for another Fire Blast in time. But let's see. Close combat is coming through. This is going to allow us to do more damage, though, with our Aqua Tail. That's going to be alright. We are going to see the Urshifu coming in, but I couldn't swap out in time. But weirdly enough, they're not going to go for like Brick Break or the Dynamic Punch. No, they're going to go for the Aqua Jet. Allow me to get to another charge move, winning us the battle here, and this is going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you had a great Go Fest, and did you see? Another Go Fest is coming up just in 1.5 months, so stay tuned for that, and I will see you then. Bye bye.